Welcome back to another episode of Good Mood Magic. I'm Audrienne, and I'm a functional nutritional therapy practitioner and an anxiety and mood expert, and I help driven and spiritual women leave anxiety behind and raise the bar on their health and happiness so they can become exactly who they're meant to. I have this belief that a superior relationship to self is the source code for a happy life, and I feel like everything just comes so much easier in life when you're lit up from within. Join me to upgrade your mood, your health, and your energy. I can't wait to see what you create when you find your own good mood magic. Let's begin. Hi everyone, I'm so glad to have you back on another episode of Good Mood Magic. Today's episode, we're still going to fill in a lot of those nutritional basics because I want to make sure that you have a sturdy foundation on which to build your good mood. So these are still fundamentals. Today we're talking about all of those bad mood foods. All of the foods that are not only not helping you in your quest for good mood magic, in fact, they're hurting you. Now, there's a lot of information in this topic, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up into several episodes, so definitely tune back in to make sure that you don't miss anything, because one, some, or all of these bad mood foods could be the main culprit in your anxiety. Yes, I know what you're thinking. A lot of these foods are considered to be fun, indulgent, and to be honest, they might be acting as your security blanket these days if you're really in the pits of anxiety. They might also hold strong emotional connections for you, and they might be symbols full of meaning and memories, like mom cooking Sunday breakfast or pizza and wine night with the girls. Perhaps these foods signal to you that it's time to relax, or they're your way of rewarding yourself, or maybe they signal to you that you're actually enjoying your life and having memorable experiences. Either way, I get it. Food is celebration, emotion, connection, indulgence, and reward. Food is mother effing emotional. I get it. But food doesn't have to be toxic to be all of those things above. Except for reward. I definitely want to leave that one out for good. I really don't ever want food to serve that role for you in your life. I come from a family where food was all of those things. And so I'll be honest, recoding some of these ties to food does take some work, and it was really difficult for me. But I promise you, once you're back in the driver's seat of your mood, your energy, and your cravings, you'll absolutely never look back. It's true food freedom. And I promise you, no pizza will ever taste as good as that feels. It's just too good of a feeling. And you can do it. If you're feeling overwhelmed right now, like I'm taking away your one solace in a painful chapter of your life, just know that I'm going to help you through all of this, hand in hand. And I promise you, you can make just as many memories without these foods. And frankly, they'll be better memories because they won't be layered with the guilt, the regret, the sugar crashes, the puffy eyes, and the upset stomach in the morning. Plus, I want you to know many of my clients have been entirely freed of all of their bad mood blues just by ridding their diet of some of these usual suspects. This stuff is no joke. I want you to know there is serious power on your plate. Also, don't worry, we'll talk about systematically ditching cravings in another episode. But by the end of today's episode, my plan is for you to have a little deeper of an understanding of why these foods should be avoided, all with the aim of arming you when the cravings start calling. Because I know for a fact that when we understand why we should do something beyond the simple, it's healthy for you, which I know is all too familiar, you'll have a little more brain power to resist when you're staring that next old-fashioned donut in the face, which is a personal favorite of mine. Okay, let's get into it. First of all, I need to give you a quick bit on blood sugar regulation. This is an entire topic that will be saved for another show, but for now, this is what I want you to know. One of your body's top priorities is to regulate your blood sugar, both high and low. So a rapid increase in blood sugar from fake foods, like a lot of the ones I'm about to list below, are going to put your body into a state of shock and stress, in turn creating a sense of nervousness, anxiety, and sometimes even panic. So it's like literally an emergency mode for your body. And in order to stabilize your sugar levels, your blood sugar levels, it's forced to pump lots of insulin into the blood and to use up critical vitamins, minerals, and enzymes to pull that sugar out of the blood and into cells to bring that blood sugar level down. Now, because that happens all so quickly, you can probably guess what happens next. Yes, your body overcorrects and in comes a blood sugar crash. This is another emergency state, creating low energy, crankiness, mood swings, intense cravings, depressive feelings, anxiety, and anger. I know we're all familiar with that, among other things. So are you starting to see how your mood and your internal state are not just related, that they're literally one and the same? Good. Okay. So let's move on to our list of bad mood foods. The first two bad mood foods for today are white sugar and white flour, a dead even tie. So I'm just going to start out with white flour. First of all, processed, refined white flour products like white pasta, breads, cereals, cookies, and crackers, and cakes, and baked goods, etc., they really shouldn't even be considered food. So just keep that in mind. In its natural state, the grains that white flour is created from actually do contain fiber, vitamins, and minerals. They are and can be beautiful whole foods when they're properly prepared. But by the time these grains are processed and refined, they have lost all of these beneficial nutritional qualities. Grains are a natural food, so they do two things, like most natural foods. They are, number one, going to attract insects and life, and number two, they're not going to last on your shelf forever. So your trusty grain growers and processors use pesticides to keep the insects away and preservatives to make the product keep on your shelf forever. I mean, how long has that bag of all-purpose flour been in your pantry for? But that's also not all they add. These refined flours also include other chemical substances like color and flavor enhancers to make up for what they've taken out, and many other bad additives that are a bad mood food category, all in and of itself. Yum! Chemical additives. When you really think about that, you kind of understand that you shouldn't be eating these foods, right? So now you understand why blood sugar regulation is important. White flour spikes your blood sugar big time, which results in nervousness, irritability, anxiety, as I mentioned. And over time, there are other more serious mood disorders that can result from that and other health issues. So something you need to know is that when your blood sugar is dysregulated, your body is under stress. When your body is under stress, so are you. You are going to feel stressed. Something else I want you guys to note is that sometimes resolving blood sugar dysregulation issues completely resolves emotional symptoms for some of my clients, and I've seen it in a lot of studies that I've read and books that I've read on the topic. Are you with me? A little bit more for you guys on white flour. So white flour is also seriously detrimental to your gut. White flour and its chemical additives, as well as the gluten in it, which we'll talk about in one of our other bad mood foods, feed pathogenic gut bacteria and fungi, promoting their growth, which is totally gross when you think about it. And they dominate the good, friendly bacteria that do many, many things. But in your case, what you should know that they do is they help build mood-regulating neurotransmitters and communicate with your brain via your vagus nerve. Poor gut health not only directly affects your mood, but it also affects your immune system. So we're going to get more into gut health later, but I can promise you that your gut health is really crucial to your mood. So this is something to pay attention to. Another thing I want you to know, white flour is mega addictive. As we know, it's been refined and stripped of all its natural components, and what is created is a concentrated substance that is literally as addictive as cocaine or opioids. In this state, when it's consumed like that, it releases some of your brain's natural feel-good neurotransmitters, serotonin, and endorphins. So your brain is essentially getting high on this food. And this is why it's considered a cerebral or brain allergen. I don't know if you've heard that term before, in that it's literally causing an allergic reaction in your brain. You can trust that your cravings for this food aren't actually just about missing mom's pancakes. They're a very real chemical addiction. And I think we can agree that you shouldn't live chemically addicted to anything that is harming your health, especially if you want a good mood. So let's get you off it, all right? Now, the last thing I want to say about white flour is that its regular consumption also leads to a host of other issues that we're not even getting into really today. It leads to hormonal issues, digestive issues, central nervous system, and immune responses. None of this is good. None of this I want for you, and none of this I don't think you want for yourself. Okay? Whew! White flour is a beast, but don't worry, we will set you free. So that's actually where I'm going to wrap up today for part 1. And in the next episode, we'll keep going and kick right off with white sugar, which is also known as the white death. Yeah. Okay, thanks for joining me today. If you're watching this on YouTube and you liked it, I think you should subscribe below, hit the bell to make sure you get notified each time I release a new video. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time for part 2 of Bad Mood Foods on Good Mood Magic.